Good afternoon. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam Sports Report. Baseball trade deadline comes up. As that fastly approaches, it will be this Thursday, July 31st at 4 p.m. Now let's go through the players that I think the Royals could trade. Freddie Freeman, I think a player he could be added for a deal, so maybe that's where he added something with maybe a same thing with Kyle Isbell, another part of a trade. I would like to see the Royals trade Jonathan India, except today he hit the home run. We'll get to that in a minute. I'm second base. He doesn't play the defense of side very well. You can maybe put him at DH on a way to a playoff team, but it doesn't look like that's the Royals right now. And according to Fox, he'll be a free agent the next year. Miguel Garcia, you can get a lot maybe for him. First, maybe relevant. Royals won't trade him, I don't think, unless they get a great deal. It seems unlikely. He also is a player that will be out in his contract in 2 years. He could be an Alex Gordon player. They keep along, but hopefully better than Alex Gordon was near the end. Bobby Witt Jr. untouchable. Vinny Pasquantino, I look, but I don't think so. Forget the left fielder. If you want me to take him to the airport, I will. Obviously, Bobby Witt Jr., shortstop, and Jac Caglianone, and Vinny Pasquantino. I'm listening for Salvador Perez, and in fact, about 4 years ago, I wanted him gone. Royals are having a prospect coming up as starter, Carter Jensen. I don't think Salvi will be traded, especially with the year that they're trying to get a stadium and much more than that. Seth Lugo, sometimes I feel like they won't trade him, and then they may, and then they're trying to get a long-term deal done with him. We'll see on that. Could the Royals trade Kris Bubic? I don't know. The Royals want a good amount for him. He also has 2 years remaining on his contract, so I'm putting that on my list. Carlos Estevez, he kind of twiddling right now, although he did get the win today. Last, I guess, depend on what I'm getting for him. Maybe another trade piece with a player. You're not going to get a top-of-the-line prospect. Then the other player, Lucas Ergseg, I think I kind of where the cutoff would be. I still think that would be a good deal, maybe. John Sharber, same thing. I think he gets the same thing in return for Carlos Estevez, maybe Lucas Ergseg, except I think Schreiber gets less. Now we move on to the Cardinals. Ryan Hazley. Hazley has a 90% chance of being traded prior to the deadline. The Cardinals have the highest value, inconsistent in performing in contracts. Recently removed bullpen posting, considering a logical piece. Team seeking a depth in bullpen clutch. Prince, a veteran rental player. Alarms expiring deal identified by sources. Phil Maton, Eric Fred. Both veterans are experiencing. Fred is a value for contenders, and Mike Molaskis is a draws trade interest as well. If the Cardinals buy, all is still selling. Although Nolan Arenado is a target earlier this season, Arenado full trade no clause and largest contract for the Cardinals, $64 million through 2027, has a limited trade option. New York Post reports. Proposed Detroit remains speculative, far from completion with Nolan Arenado. Herrera has a blocked page, Contreras page. Ivan Herrera, St. Louis catcher. Cardinals players they may keep if they contend: Alec Burson, Nolan Garman, Ryan Hazley is no matter what seems to be on the bill for trading. Merrill Kelly is a player they could get from the Diamondbacks. Cubs players could trade Mitchell Keller, Pittsburgh Pirates. The Cubs have reportedly expressed interest in both. Keller is a potential piece of a bullpen and both carrying appeal. Dylan Case San Diego Padres pending a free agent reportedly to the Cubs. Case could add rotation and depth to the postseason. Emmanuel Quazez, closer for the Indians, one of the best closers in the game. Chicago is among the teams that are monitoring classes bolsters for that. Kyle Flanagan, another bullpen option. Chicago could especially use a closer at the veteran high. Eugenio Suarez, MLB remains a top prospect, especially Cubs fans feeling international option third base, but the Yankees said he's too expensive, and if they're saying that, that could be trouble. Other targets, Nolan Arenado for the Cardinals, Justin Turner, a veteran bat of the Cubs Sporting, adding depth, especially through after missing Alex Bregman. Cubs' overall strategy primarily starting pitching with prospects Cade Horton, limited depth, least Harvey Sports, secondary needs, bench depth, offense, third base, reinforcement articles. Highlight, Chicago Cubs may rentals for avoid payroll. Cubs have flexibility with the top prospects such as Moreland Burstles and Jeff Rogans and Calvin Avci and Christian Hernandez as all acquire impact. Also, Cubs seem to be looking on Seth Lugo. The Royals get the first win of the day on a walk-off home run by Jonathan India, a player that I mentioned trading. The Royals take game one over the
belted, left field, deep and gone! You can't buy a better payback than that. Oh, wow! And he's about to run right by him as he comes down the third base line. Jonathan India stuns Clase and the Guardians with a 3-run walk-off home run in the bottom of the 10th. Unbelievable.
The Cardinals played the Padres, and that score was Matthew Liberatore went for the Cardinals and Randy Vasquez went for the Cards. Cubs played the White Sox. Cade Horton went for the Cubs, and Aaron Carnevale went for the White Sox. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam Sports Report. We'll have more coverage of the trade deadline as it approaches fastly on Thursday. We may have a show on Wednesday and Thursday. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam Sports Report.